Hello, and welcome to episode 41 of the Stitching Over the Days podcast. My name is Constance, and this is a podcast all about my knitting, my sewing, and my crochet. I want to thank any new viewers and also any returning viewers for taking a moment out of your day to hear all about my crafting adventures. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as cleocmc, that's CLEOCMC. There's also a Ravelry group, Stitching Over the Days, and there's a blog with the show notes, yarningoverthedays.wordpress.com. So I'm going to get started, and I have a few things to share with you on today's podcast. This will be the last podcast for the year, and I just really can't believe that 2020 is almost over. It's been quite a year. It's been quite a year, as we all know. So I'm going to follow the same format, and I'll be sharing my finished projects. I have a couple to share with you today, and I also wanted to share my current work in progress. There's just one. So the bulk of this podcast will be pretty much a recap of all that I've accomplished and created in the year 2020, which has been quite a bit, and I'm pretty pleased with what I have been able to accomplish. And that is the good thing about being forced to stay home or during the quarantine. At least I had some crafts to keep me occupied during that time. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. And we'll first start with a project that I did I think I did it in October. It's very exciting because Lily Kate France, as you all know, who's one of my favorite designers, she did a collaboration with Stitch and Story. And so this collaboration is great because it's a collab. She has, I think, 3 garments and some accessories also. But it's great because if you're a knitter and you want to get into garment knitting, but you're not sure like where to start, or you want to start with something a bit more easier, but still have a stylish garment in the end, then I think that that's the collection to go to. And so I decided to test knit the garment that was called A Taste of Lace. And each of the garments are within the collection. It kind of teaches you a new technique. Like I think one of the garments will teach you how to work in the round for a seamless construction. And then you have the Taste of Lace, which I chose. That is a seamed garment, but it's teaching you just how to get started in lace. And then you also have a garment that features some cables if you wanted to dip your toe into cabling a bit. So I did the Taste of Lace, and I went with this color that I don't typically go with. I have a cardigan in a similar color that I made, and I don't wear it that much, that cardigan, but I still really like it. And so it's this beautiful coral color, and there's the lace there. And as you can see, it's a pretty simple construction, but it does give you a very dramatic and beautiful effect. And so this yarn is the Stitch and Story new yarn. It's their English Garden collection, and this color is the pink color. I forgot the exact name, but the details are on my Ravelry if you want to check out, and I also put the details on my Instagram page if you're not on Ravelry. And so this I chose this kind of corally pink, and the yarn is, I do remember that it was 60% cotton and 40% acrylic, and it gives it this really nice like weight, and I think it's an Iran weight or DK. And was it, see, I have to go back, maybe it was DK, but either way the weight is a more heavier weight, and so it works up very quickly. And I was able to finish the project. I was trying to squeeze it in before I got to my Christmas knitting. And so I put myself on a limitation, time limit, to finish it within a week. And I did finish it in less than a week because I wanted to get started on my Christmas knitting. And I was able to do so. And so, as you can see, most of it is like stockinette, but then you have those beautiful lace touches on the cuffs and also on the neckline. And I like that it's also mimicked on the back. And also, Lily Kate has the beautiful... another technique that's within this is German short rows, which I really like. And so she has that within the pattern. And it was really fun to work up. It was a really relaxing knit. I liked working it up while I was watching a lot of TV. And I've been wearing it quite a few times before the pattern was released, but I had to make sure not to share it because it wasn't released yet. And so one of my favorite ways to wear it, I mean, of course you could wear it just by itself, which I did do when I took pictures. But as the temperatures have been dropping a bit, I also like to layer it over my mock turtleneck tops. And I think it works quite well also, and it looks really nice. And it's just an easy top to wear. So I enjoyed it. The yarn was really nice. It's very consistent and smooth throughout. It gave me a very even and consistent tension. And I love that about it. And I made no modifications. Well, the only thing I did was shorten it by 1 inch. And I made the size 1 for the garment. But it's like a really nice boxy, comfy cropped sweater that I think is really nice. And I think it's going to work well also in the warmer months, because currently I mainly like to layer it over like my mock turtlenecks, as I stated, and also my mock turtleneck dresses, those new look 6469 dresses. But I think it's going to be nice also with a pair of shorts, just on its own, when the weather gets a bit warmer. So I'm really happy with it, and I'm happy that I had just like such a good time creating it. It was a fun knit. So yeah, that's it for the Taste of Lace top. This is a design by Lily Kay France, and it's a collaboration with Stitch and Story. Alright, so I will have pictures and also a twirl of the garment at the end of this video. The next finished project I did was I completed my the other blank sweater. Hold on 1 second. I had to get the book. But I completed the second blank sweater of my Christmas knitting. I'm trying to complete 3 of these sweaters before Christmas. And so I again put myself on a schedule, and I was able to stick to that schedule, which I'm super excited about. And so I was able to complete this garment. And this is the garment here on the cover of the book. And as you can see, the model has the turtleneck, but my niece, she requested a crew neck, so I only did 10 rounds for the crew neck instead of doing the turtleneck. And I did finish it. So other than that, I stayed true to the pattern. I stuck to the pattern completely. And oh, also I wanted to state that when I seamed the Taste of Lace garment, I used backstitch, and I also used backstitch for the blank sweater also. The yarn is Rowan Alpaca Classic. This color is the Feather Gray Melange color, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I usually don't flock to such light grays. I don't really flock to gray that much at all, but I'm starting to think that I would like a gray garment in the future. And of course the yarn feels amazing. It's very light, and yet it's still very cozy and warm, and it just feels I love wearing these sweaters. Even though I wear them for such a brief time, it's not my sweater, it's for my niece Aaliyah. But when I wear it during those brief moments to take pictures, I always feel like so good in it. And I'm always thinking, oh, I really want one. I would love to try to squeeze in one for myself before the New Year's. And if I stick to my schedule and finish the other blank sweater, I have a plan to finish it about 3 days before Christmas, then I may be able to squeeze in one for myself before New Year's, but we shall see. So yes, I did the crew neck, and this, as I've stated before, I really love this yarn. The only reason I don't give it a perfect score is because sometimes you encounter knots in the skeins, and I did encounter a few knots in the skeins with this color also. But surprisingly, I've been working the last of the gift knitting in the soft satin color. I'll share it in my works in progress, and I haven't encountered any knots in those skeins so far, and I think I'm on my third ball for that, so I'm really happy about that. And so maybe it was just the gray colors that had the knots. And so yes, my niece absolutely loved it. And it is so funny because when she saw when my youngest niece, whose sweater I'm currently working up, saw the crew neck, then she was like, oh my goodness, I really want a shorter neck, and I want to wear a collar under it, because I styled it by wearing it was just a dicky collar that I put under it. And so she was like, she wanted to wear a collar under hers. And then the niece whose sweater I finished first, who wanted the turtleneck, was like, she started messing with me, and she was like, oh, I want a short neck also. And I was like, what? And we were FaceTiming, and she said, yeah. And I was like, do you know how hard it's going to be to like rip out? Because this yarn here, it does not rip out very easily because it's sticky, sticky type of yarn, and it definitely grafts onto like the stitches kind of clean together, and so it's not a really easy yarn to rip out. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's gonna be a headache to rip it out. I was gonna go ahead and do it, and then she was like, I'm just joking, I'm just playing with you. And I was like, oh my goodness, you better stop playing with me. So she's staying with the turtleneck. When I make my version, I think I'm gonna go for the turtleneck also, because I have plenty of crew neck garments and sweaters, and I always really like on those really cold days to like have a garment that comes all the way up on the neck. It just feels so cozy and so warm. For example, on those really cold days that we sometimes have, I love reaching for my hanker sweater, which has that turtleneck. So the good thing though about the crew neck is that of course it works up really quickly, and so I don't have to spend as many hours working up the neckline with the crew neck version. But I'm super happy with it. I'm going to try to but I'm planning to sew the tags in the ones that I finish tonight, because I'll be traveling home soon, and I want to just go ahead and sew those tags. And those tags, they just going to pretty much say handmade by Constance, because whenever I give a gift, whether it's sewing or knitting, I like to just like have the person remember that I created it. And so I'll have images and also a twirl of that blank sweater at the end of this video. Okay, I'm going to get my one work in progress, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have another blank sweater on the needles. This is for my youngest niece, and again, this is the Rowan Alpaca Classic yarn, and I'm really enjoying this color also. It's really nice. It's called Soft Satin, and it's like a cream color, but it has a hint of pink to it, so maybe like a blush pink type of color, but it's really nice, neutral. I really like it. And this niece, she loves cream colors and those neutral tones, and so this is the back portion that I've completed so far, and so it's pretty much I was working straight. So now I'm about to get into some armhole shaping, and then I hope to finish the back pretty soon, and then I'll move into the front, and so on and so on. And so as I've stated, so far I've encountered no knots within the soft satin color balls, so that's been really nice also. So I haven't really had to have a pause in my knitting, even though it's not like a big pause, but just a little pause to, you know, join in those areas that don't have the knots in the ball. So that's going pretty well. I'm just going to continue to work on it steadily, and hopefully I'll I really want to complete it. Not like last year I was knitting, I remember, on Christmas Day up until 11:30 in the morning, and I stayed up like late, and I don't want to have to do that this year. So I'm really hoping to finish that about 3 days before Christmas, just to give myself some relaxing time, some breathing time, and a moment to just like really chill out before the holidays. And so that's what I'm hoping to do with the that blank sweater. Okay, so as I stated at the beginning of the podcast, this is the end of, it's not the end yet, but we're nearing the end of 2020, and I wanted to share with you all that I've created this year. I'll quickly give you an idea. I'm not going to share the garments that I sewed, but I'll let you know what I did sew this year. So I was able to complete 10 dresses. I couldn't believe that I completed that many dresses. One of those dresses went to my niece. And I made 3 skirts. I made only 1 top, or that I sewed, and I made 2 pairs of pants. So I think that's pretty good. And I think that's what is that? 15 items that I was able to sew that this year, and I think that that's pretty good, because I really didn't have any major plans with sewing. And I was always, every year I feel like I say I'm going to make a trench coat and a pair of jeans, and every year the year just goes by and I did not make that. And so again, I'm going to be still making a goal in 2021 to make that trench coat and a pair of jeans. I mean, I'm just going to continue to put it on my goal every year until I actually knock it out. So, but other than that, I'm really happy with what I did accomplish with my sewing. And so, when it comes to my knitting and crochet, I definitely did more knitting this year when it comes to garments. Definitely, I did a little bit of crochet, but I've only completed one crochet garment, which was a surprise. I didn't realize that I only did one crochet garment, and I did a few crochet toys. But I also, for the first time, did some knitted toys. In terms of garments for knit and crochet, I created 15 garments, and only one of those was crochet. I also did 2 hats. They were crochet. I did 1 pair of socks, 6 toys. I couldn't believe I did that many. And of those toys, the sloth and the Pusheen the cat, those were knitted. I gifted those to my niece, my youngest niece. Well, she's not my youngest niece, but one of my younger nieces, because there's a niece who's a baby below her. And then I also gave 2 of those toys to my baby niece and my baby nephew. Those were the elephants. And so I made 3 shawls. This was my first year knitting shawls. And surprisingly, I did 3 of them. And I also did, I think that's it. Yeah. So now that I've done like a quick rundown of what I've created, I just decided to try to quickly go through and share with you what I've created and my thoughts on each of the garments and how I've worn them, or just little things that I can think of at the top of my head over the year, just because I just think it's good to just do an inventory of what I've created over the year, and it gives me ideas of what I want to create in the future. So this is in no particular order. I kind of did them in order by designer. So I'll probably talk in order of designers. So yes. So first up, I did complete a Marie Wallen Fair Isle garment. This is my first time doing one of Marie Wallen's Fair Isle garments. I've created designs by her in the past, but they were mainly crochet. And I'm really, really happy about it. This is my honeysuckle cardigan. And this is from Marie Wallen's Meadow collection. I'm going to try to remember where the designs came from, and also the yarns that I used, but if I don't, then I'll just put the details of each garment in the show notes and link them to the source. So yes, this is the honeysuckle cardigan. I really, really love it. I think it's so beautiful. I think the colors are so beautiful and vivid. I love how they work so well together. And I wear this garment, I completed this garment when the weather was still hot outside, and so I didn't wear it for quite a while. And then as soon as the temperatures dropped, I've been wearing it so much. I think because it has so many colors within the cardigan, it just matches, it seems like, everything. And I just like pairing it with almost any color. I mean, blue, red, navy, black. It just really works. Of course, I mainly wear it with some people wear Fair Isle with like printed garments, but I haven't really figured out what works that has like a printed pattern. So I mainly wear it with solid colors, and I like wearing it in that way because then like the cardigan is the highlight of the outfit. But overall, I love it so much. It looks so good, like with dresses, with jeans. It just really works. I think it works so well because of the length, because it's a bit of a longer length than my usual crop style that I really, really like. But it's nice to have a cardigan in my wardrobe that's a bit of a longer length that really works well with like whenever I would just want to wear a pair of jeans or even one of my more relaxed fitting dresses. Then it just looks really nice. And so yes, I really enjoy wearing this. And so that's the honeysuckle, and I used the Jamieson's of Shetland yarn, and this is the original colorway, but she also has like I think 3 additional colorways you can choose from with the Marie Wallen British Breeze yarn, which are all absolutely gorgeous. So I'm super happy with that, and I have plans to create another Fair Isle Marie Wallen cardigan in 2021. I already have the yarn for it, and that is it's called Virginia. I forgot the collection name that it's from, but I like that one because it has like this like really rich colors, like deep oranges and reds and blues, and I just think that that's going to look amazing, even though these colors are definitely vivid also. But it'll be nice to just have a second one. And I really like the pattern of that Virginia cardigan that I have plans for. So that's that. I did another Fair Isle garment. This was the first Fair Isle garment that I completed at the beginning of the year in January, I believe. And this is the Monteach cardigan by Alistair Moore. And it's so beautiful. If you remember, I actually ended up changing out the buttons, not because of a style preference, but because the other buttons was kind of raised, and so they weren't like allowing for the button band to stay like closed whenever I wanted to stay closed, whenever I would choose to button it. And so I changed them out for some flat buttons, and they're just basic navy blue buttons. I'm super happy with this. Love the coloring. This was one of those spur of the moment purchases from Virtual Yarns, because I saw them post a picture on Instagram. I immediately loved it. I immediately purchased the kit, and so I just cast it on kind of spur of the moment. I'm super happy that I did. And my only problem is that I definitely it fits a bit more like tighter than I would prefer, and that was a fault on my end. And so I would have preferred having a bit more positive ease in the cardigan, but I still really like it. I enjoy it. I think the colors are beautiful, and I love it so much. And so there's another design that I have the kit on the way. It's called Meadow Sweet, and it's another colorway of the same design. And so I'm excited about that because I'll have another beautiful Fair Isle garment, and I'll also have a chance to get the fit right on that version also. So yes, that is the Monteach cardigan by Alistair Moore. Absolutely beautiful design. Okay, this is another garment. I'm just like so happy with a lot of things that I created. This garment was so much fun to create, so much fun to wear. I love it. I reach for it quite a bit because it has green within the garment, even though the majority of the garment is not green, but it has green in the garment, and so it pairs so perfectly with like all of my green tops, all of my green dresses. I just love wearing it with like everything, and it always works. And so that is the Tray-Eye cardigan by Jade Star Moore, and it was another kit that I purchased from Virtual Yarns. And here's the garment. And as you can see, it's a garment. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I have podcasts on which I did talk about the garments. And so it is Fair Isle at the like bottom portion, but then you get into some stockinette. So you have like that part at the bottom that's definitely more interesting, but then you kind of like have a moment when you could just like chill out and, you know, watch some TV and relax or whatnot with the stockinette. I really enjoy creating this. It feels amazing every time I wear it because, you know, you have this kind of stockinette plain portion here at the top, so it's a bit lighter than like a completely full Fair Isle garment. And I think that works really, really well for our weather that we have most of the time here in South Carolina. And I just love wearing this cardigan, and I just think that like the colors are so beautiful with those little blocks of green. So yeah, another huge favorite. I know last year I did like a MVP of my favorite creation that I created out of all of the garments that I made in 2019, but it's going to be too hard to do that this year, so I don't think I'm going to do it. But the MVP from last year was my Jane Seymour, which is still one of my favorite garments that I've ever created. So since I started talking about the Jane Seymour, I'll get into another garment that I created from Tudor Roses. That's a book by Alistair Moore, and this is another Alistair Moore design that I'm loving. I love to wear it so much, and that is the Mary Queen of Scots jacket. And so, oh my goodness, I love this garment so much. This was a garment that really put me through the ringer. I don't know what was going on. There was a lot going on in the world at that time, a lot going on with my life also. And I was making, oh my goodness, so many careless mistakes with this garment. Like, I like to highlight the creation process of each of my garments. And if you go to my Instagram, then in my highlights, I talk about the Mary Queen of Scots. And I had to rip out this garment about 5 times in different areas. I was just going through it with this garment. And it's not even like, I don't think it's even one of the most complex knits by Alice Starmore, but I was really having a time creating it. But I'm still super happy with it, and I just love to wear it so much. It's just so beautiful, and the colors are just so rich, and I just love the details. I like the circles and the flourish of the neckline, and also the cuffs and the bottom, and it's just a really nice garment to wear. And I really like wearing it with denim, which I didn't expect to wear it so much with. I have a denim dress that I created this year. I love wearing it with that. I like wearing it with my denim pants, but then it also looks good with like one of my corduroy dresses or skirts, and it's just one of those garments that I just love. And so yeah, it's quite fancy, but I still think that you could pair it with some jeans and it still look like a really put together outfit. And when my family and I, we had our like Zoom celebration, and then everybody's like when they saw just the top portion of this garment that I wore during the Zoom, and then my aunt was like, you have to send me like a full picture of that garment, because she wanted to see the complete jacket. So I was able to text her. It's just one of those pieces that is just so beautiful, and it actually could work up really quickly, because the main body and the sleeves, they aren't worked with the fingering yarn, but it's made with the DK weight, the Alice Starmore 3-ply. And so I love it. Okay, I'm trying not to like make the podcast too long, like gushing over everything, but some garments I'm just like, oh, I can't believe like I made that. I looked through the Tudor Roses book over and over and over. I just love looking at it. Even when I'm relaxing, I just like looking at it. And that was one of the designs that I was like, oh, I hope to create one day. So whenever I finish a garment from that book, I'm like, yes, another one checked off the list. And it is my hope. I already have the kit for the Anne Boleyn, and I really hope that I complete that in 2021. And because that was another one that I just been admiring for so long, and I really just I'm trying to work my way through Tudor Roses, so it's going to take time, but I'm going to try to do it as much as I can. Okay, it looks like this next section is Lily Kate France patterns. I already shared one in the finished objects, which was the Taste of Lace, so I shared that with you all, and I love it. So let's get into the Avenum cardigan, which I love so much. It's so elegant. Look at that yarn. Oh my goodness. So the yarn is Pearl Soho, Tussock, and Posy. And I think the color is so beautiful. It's perfect for this time of year. But the cardigan is also not like a really heavy cardigan, so you could pretty much wear it year round. If we were going somewhere fancy or doing holiday parties and going to shows like we typically do during this time of year, this would have been in the rotation. I'm still going to wear it, of course, when I'm with family and stuff, in our little small bubble. But I just think it's so beautiful. It's just really elegant garment. I really enjoy wearing it. The yarn is amazing. I was sent this yarn by Pearl Soho, and I love it so, so much. I want to make some more garments with this yarn. And it's just a beautiful design. So I remember also really enjoying the process. Whenever I do one of Lily Kate's designs, I'm always surprised by how quickly they work up, because typically I do a lot of seamed garments, and so even with the seamed garments, once you're finished with the knitting, you still have to, sit down and settle yourself and do the seaming of the garments. So there's always like minimal finishing on the Lily Kate France designs, and then so I'm always really like pleasantly surprised, like, oh, it's over, like it's done, it's like I have a finished garment. And so I really love this garment so much, and I like this color so much also. It's just one of those colors that just work, which surprisingly I've never tried before, but I'm really, I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so the next garment is another Lily Kate France design, and this is the Lawrenson sweater. And as soon as I saw this sweater, I was just like, oh my goodness, that is so cute. I love it so much. I love the neckline. I like the puff sleeves. And it was just one of those garments that I just knew immediately that I wanted to create And so I worked it up with some stash yarn. That was like, I think it was like in the early days of the quarantine, and I wasn't really doing a lot of ordering, and so I was just working from my stash. And this is some Knit Picks Wool of the Andes tweed that and the color is Brass Heather, and I just think the color is so beautiful. It's like some kind of, okay. And look at those details on the side. Oh, it's really beautiful design. It's like, it has really nice details and also really fun techniques. And again, the construction is always really fun. And I always really enjoy working up Lily Kate's designs. And so, yes, I actually wore this quite a bit in the spring, not so much in the like deep of the summer. And then I, again, immediately pulled it back out in the fall and in the winter. And I just love wearing it. It's a really beautiful design. It's also one of those that just works with almost anything. You can wear it with skirts, you can wear it with jeans, pants. It just works. So this garment is another Lily Kate France design that I created as a part of her first knit along. And so I wanted to join, and this was also a design that I had on my radar. And so I decided to go for the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes again, and this was the Cottage Heather color. At first I was kind of like a bit annoyed because the purple wasn't as deep as I wanted it to be, because I thought that it looked like more deep or more vivid online. But surprisingly, it's one of my most worn garments throughout the year. I really like having it even like around in the area when I'm in the house. So if it gets a bit nippy in the house, then I could quickly put it on. It's just one of those really comfy cardigans that look really nice, and you feel so put together in it still. I love it so much. And I also really like how purple looks with green, my favorite color. And so I've been wearing it a lot with those items. And I also just like pairing it with brown. Really, it just kind of works with almost anything. And yes, I really love this. This is the Be Thankful cardigan. I'm not sure if I said the name of it. By Lily Kate France. And oh my goodness, very, very pleased with this one. It gets heavy rotation. Gets worn more than I ever expected. Okay, I think that, yeah, I only did one design by this designer this year, even though I've done designs by her in the past. And so this is the Rizzo blouse by Amy Apple, also known as Poison Girls. It's beautiful. I used the Kelborn Woolens vintage red color. It's very beautiful top, very light. It's so light that I don't wear it that much as it's been getting colder. But I've been thinking about layering it with other cardigans. And maybe I would get more use or more wear out of it that way. Because it's short sleeves, and the yarn was like a light fingering yarn, which was really nice to work with. And so it's definitely like not the most warm garment. But it's still really nice, and maybe I'll get more wear out of it when the temperatures, when it's not as cold or when it's hotter outside. I think it'll be a great summer garment, but I'm going to try to also layer it with other cardigans, and because I've been thinking that I would like to pair it with my honeysuckle cardigan one day. I think that it'll work well together. So it was a really nice project to work up. I did it as a part of a partnership with Fancy Tiger Crafts, who I am an ambassador for. So I really enjoyed that. Okay, now we'll get into the I'll also get into these garments. I did a design by Lisa Richardson. This is the Palermo top. This was my only crochet design. Yes, this is the Palermo top by Lisa Richardson. It is from Rowan Magazine, issue 67. Yes, I believe it's 67. It was just a really nice, easy crochet project, but I really like the details on the hem and on the cuffs. And so I was just really immediately knew that I wanted to work it up. And so I went for this neutral color. Again, this was the color that I had in my stash, and so I had enough to create the top, and so I was able to create it, and I love it so much. This is with the Rowan Summer Light 4-ply, which is a yarn I really enjoy working with, especially in the summer, and I love wearing the garments in the summer. And so this is the only crochet project, but I'm super happy with it, and I hope to do more crochet garments, especially in the spring and summer in the coming year. So, oh, this garment is a favorite. I received quite a bit of love on like Instagram and Ravelry, and I really enjoy wearing it. Also, it's one of those cardigans that I love having close to me in the house, and also because it's like really comfy and casual, but then it feels amazing, and it's made in one of my favorite yarns, which is the Rowan Felted Tweed. And this is the Cozy cardigan designed by Jem Weston. It's from her book Cozy Alpaca Knits. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. And as you can see, you have like some fair owl on the cuffs and also on the band here. And then it's like a folded hem, which gives it a really neat edge, which I love so much. It's just one of those garments I really, really enjoy wearing. It's not a typical shape for me, but I like how it looks so much. It looks really good. Again, this is one of those really versatile pieces I found. I like wearing it with my dresses. I like wearing it with jeans, and I also like wearing it with my mock turtleneck. So no matter how I wear it, it always looks really good. And so I've enjoyed that. And I also wore it quite a bit even in the, like I was saying, when it was hot outside, because I liked wearing it when it was really cool on the inside. So yes, this was a really fun knit, amazing knit, because it's one of those knits again where it's a lot of stockinette, but then you have something interesting going on, so you're not just like completely bored with it. And it was also an interesting construction. I remember I've never worked up a garment in that construction. It was kind of like, it's hard to explain, but I know it kind of works sideways. But I like this garment so much. Surprised at how much I love it, because it's just like something different for me, like I was saying, with the shape and everything, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Okay, now we'll get into the Kim Hargraves patterns that I created this year. First up, we'll talk about the hanker sweater, which I love. This is the hanker sweater from her Covet collection. Let's see, I think I have it backwards. Yes. And this is from her Covet collection. I was sent this yarn by Knit Pick, sent me this beautiful yarn. This is the Knit Pick City Tweed DK in this cobalt color. And I just love this like boxy crop shape with those dramatic sleeves, because the sleeves are like so wide and then they kind of come here. And it's also just a very practical garment to have, because like I was saying, these days when it's really cold and the temperature just drops, then I love reaching for it and I'm all cozy. And it's again a very versatile piece that just works well with layering over dresses, wearing it with pants or jeans, and I just really love that color. I love it so much. So yeah, this is a knit that I'm super happy with, and I really enjoy the yarn also, and I'm curious to see how it holds up, because I've used the Knit Pick's Wool of the Andes Tweed numerous times in the past, but this is my first time using the Knit Pick City Tweed, and so I really enjoy it. It was suggested to use the Rowan Alpaca Classic for this design, but I substituted the City Tweed and it works out quite nicely. But I will say, compared to the Alpaca Classic, this is like a weightier yarn, and it feels a bit heavier, which I love for this crop cardigan. But I don't know if I would want like to use the I wouldn't substitute the City Tweed for like the blank sweaters, because it may be too overwhelming. But I love this garment. Super happy with that, and I'm just like those little cables that are like featured, yeah, on the sides, and I like that they're on the front and back. This was a spur of the moment project. This was the Kim Hargraves Sherry cardigan from her Honey collection. I really enjoyed wearing it so much. It's a short sleeve cardigan, and so it looks really good, but of course, since it's short sleeve, I mainly wore it when it was warmer outside. I haven't worn it much recently. It's my favorite color, green, and this is from her Honey collection. I just like that moss stitch or seed stitch. It depends on where you're from, what you call it. Yeah, I like the seed stitch, trim that's on the neckline and on the cuffs and on the hem. And it was I thought that it was going to be like a mindless knit. I do remember that. And I remember having to concentrate quite a bit to do the shaping for the garment. And I used the Cascade 220 Superwash, and the color is called Army. And it still looks really good because I've worn it a bit. But I know in the past my Cascade 220 Superwash garments, they do tend to peel. But I'm thinking that these sleeves are short, and so they aren't peeling because they aren't really getting a lot of wear in this area, as most cardigans do. And of course, I've shared in the previous podcast this blank sweater that I completed for my niece. This was the first of the blank sweaters with the turtleneck. And this is the Rowan Alpaca Classic in the charcoal melange color. Really, really love this gray. So beautiful. So beautiful. And so I did that one. And of course, I just shared the feather gray melange color. And I'm hoping before 2020 is out to finish that soft satin color. And so that will probably be the last of my knits for the year. So let's see how we're doing on time. That is it. Oh, no, that's not it. I didn't share the accessories. So as I've stated, I've made 2 hats this year. This hat is the Birch hat by Kim Hargraves. Oh, so we're still in the Kim Hargraves designs. Oh, I love this hat so much. I love that color. I used the Rowan Soft Yak DK, and the color was Pasture. Love it so much. Then this is the Peaches hat by Kim Hargraves, another design, and it's using the Rowan hand knit cotton. This is a K facet color. It's called, was it Boysenberry? I can't remember, but I love those hats. And as I've stated, this was my first year making a knit shawl. I've made crochet shawls in the past, but the very first knit shawl I created was a design by Georgia Farrell. And so I really love it. This was from Rowan magazine issue 67. It's so beautiful. It's so light. It feels, oh my goodness. Look at me trying it on. I just love trying it. It feels amazing. It feels so good. I especially like wearing it in a cowl fashion as the weather has gotten colder. I just really like it this way. Of course, I don't know why I'm trying it on because I'm wasting time, but I just can't resist putting this on because it just feels so good. I use the Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and yeah, I used the Kid Silk Haze, but I also paired it with the lace yarn, which was Malabrigo lace, if I'm not mistaken. They turned out absolutely beautiful. So that was my first knit shawl. And as you can see, it's not like the largest shawl, but it's a really nice shawl because I found that I really like draping shawls that are like this length over my neck. Whereas this other shawl, which I absolutely love, another design by Georgia Farrell. I like her shawls a lot. This is very substantial shawl. And so it's not as easy to drape it around the neck. But I like wearing this one in a typical shawl manner, and I really enjoyed creating this shawl. It was really nice and fun. And of course, I've been enjoying the Rowan Alpaca Classic, and so that's what this yarn is. And this is from Georgia Farrell's My London collection, which is a very beautiful collection. I also created another shawl, which is the Florence shawl by Emily Platzer. This was another collaboration with Fancy Tiger Crafts. And I just think it's beautiful. Of course, I chose it because the colors, because they were green. And this was with the Fancy Tiger Crafts Heirloom Romney yarn. It's really nice woolly yarn. Again, this is another one I like wearing like this as the weather has gotten a bit colder. And of course, I wear it quite a bit because it's green. And so it just works with a lot of things in my wardrobe. So, I have like a pile of knits and I don't want them to topple over next to me. I'm super happy with all that I was able to achieve in 2020, and that it's pretty much it for today's podcast. I'll share with you what I'm wearing. This is one of my favorite knits ever, the Jane Seymour by Alice Starr from her book To the Roses. And I paired it with my Simplicity 2444 dress that I made this year. And it was one of the dresses I made, and I've been dreaming of a lightweight corduroy green dress for years. But it was so hard to find a green corduroy. So when I found this emerald green corduroy, I scooped it up. I purchased it from fabric.com, and so it is like, it would be kind of embarrassing to tell you all how much I wear this dress. It just matches everything. It just goes with everything. But I love it. So that is it. I wanted to end the podcast. I hope that you're all doing well. Those of you who are joining me for the Give Love Christmas Knit Along. I haven't interacted as much because I've been knitting like feverishly on these last sweaters. But now I'm entering my break, and I'm so excited about that. And so I think that now I have even more time to get this knitting done on this last sweater. And so I hope that all of you all who are participating are getting your projects done. And I've been seeing so many amazing projects popping up on Instagram, and it seems like a lot of us are making great progress. And so we're getting those Christmas knitting and gifts done. So that will conclude today's podcast. I wanted to wish you all a very happy holidays, and that you may enjoy this time, and that you may stay safe and well, and that you and your loved ones may have just an enjoyable season. All right, you guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you all next year.